Do you ever feel like your sales team is stuck? You're putting in the work and you're grinding it out, but the numbers just aren't moving. What if I told you the problem isn't your team's effort? What if the real reason for a lack of momentum is just a leadership issue or a systems issue? That's what we're going to dive into today with a framework I call the circle of momentum. Hey everyone, Drew Norton here. I'm the Everyday Sales Leader. I've personally sold tens of millions in products and services, built and scaled large sales teams, and taught hundreds of people how to go from minimum wage to six-figure incomes in sales. My mission? To change the way the world sees sales. Because selling is noble, it's leadership, it's freedom, it's abundance, and most importantly, sales is life. Now, if you're a leader or a business owner, you know the pain of having vacancy in your sales roles. You're probably trapped in a costly cycle of recruiting and then losing that same talent. The key to getting out of that is to change your mindset from the need to hire to a mindset that we're always going to be scouting. We're always going to be recruiting. Every challenge with sales momentum, high turnover, burnout, or just flat performance can be traced back to either a leadership issue or a systems and process issue. Dysfunctional sales organizations often find themselves trapped in a negative cycle where poor sales culture leads to misaligned teams, which in turn diminishes the sales engagement, and ultimately that hinders sales performance. The lack of sales performance then feeds back into the negative sales culture and really continues that cycle. But you can break this cycle. You just need to know where to start. The circle of momentum has four key parts: culture, alignment, engagement, and performance. It's a continuous loop, and the problems in one area almost always create the problems in the next. That also means if we solve one area, we can fix the next area. So let's dive into each of these four key parts. With culture, it's having shared values, shared beliefs, and shared behaviors that shape your sales team's identity and work environment. So this is honestly the foundation, and you need to move from a reactive strategy around your culture to a proactive strategy around building a strong sales culture, especially when it comes to the people that are a part of this. So if you think a little bit about like the best teams you've been on, usually those best teams, it wasn't just about making the money, which often is what we focus on in sales and salespeople do. It's the way that people treated each other, and it was the shared mission and the shared goals and the feeling of a team. This is part of why I'm a big fan of AI hiring tools. My favorite's Hire Aligned. It's designed to capture your culture and help you screen applicants to make sure they're aligned with your culture and also the position. Now, you can't assume what your culture is. You actually have to define it, and then you have to communicate it. This is how we go from just reactionary to what the culture is to actually being intentional about it. Once we have a strong culture in place, that takes us to the next part of the circle of momentum, which is alignment. It's really the direction you're going. Alignment is the degree to which your team is working together towards shared sales goals and objectives. Are we on the same page? When you have a strong culture in place, it drives alignment and it makes it easier to attract sales reps and individuals to your organization who want to be there and repels those that don't. And so leaders, once they have alignment, they can shift from managing people to truly focusing on inspiring and motivating their sales teams. So kind of think of it this way. Have you ever been in a group of talented people and everyone's rowing a different direction? Everyone has a different motive at the end of the day. That's what it looks like when there's a lack of alignment. You can have a great culture, but if people don't know what they're doing or why they're doing it, you're going to continue to be stuck. This is where coaching up the members of your team, getting coaching for yourself, and true leadership development become key, especially when it comes to sales leaders and sales management. That takes us to the next step of the circle of momentum, which is your engagement. It's really the fuel that gets the fire burning. And so think of your engagement as the level of passion, the level of commitment, the level of involvement your team feels towards their work. Alignment really leads to that passion, you want to provide your sales team with the tools and the autonomy they need to succeed. So if we think about like the opposite of engagement, that would be apathy. Are your reps just going through the motion? Is this just a job or just a paycheck for them? A lack of engagement is often a sign of poor alignment. You might have the right people and you may not have a clear culture, or it might be, hey, we have a great culture and we're not bringing in the right people to match that culture. They might not see a clear path for growth, or they don't have the systems they need to sell effectively. And so once again, it may not just be leadership. Systems can be a part of this as well. So your job is to enhance and empower your team, drive consistent sales activity and results. And this is where coaching and training for sales skills in the organization are crucial. This is where leadership is very important. If you want to have great engagement, you've got to have great leadership. This takes us to the last part of the circle of momentum, performance. And this is where we ultimately see results. So performance is all about being able to measure the sales outcomes and results achieved by individuals and the teams. It's the end of the loop. And what's funny about it is it's also the beginning. And why I say that is when you have great performance, it seems like the culture only gets better. Where when you aren't performing, it seems like the culture just gets worse, right? So a lot of leaders, they only focus on this. They obsess over the numbers, but don't actually look at the areas that actually produce those numbers. And so you have to understand that your team's performance is a direct result of the other three areas being healthy. The most powerful thing you can do is analyze your sales data and use it to inform and improve your culture rather than just rely on assumptions. To break this destructive cycle, especially if it's not a circle of momentum, if it's going the opposite route, you've got to be intentional about each step. Implementing proper systems and procedures and growing leaders in your organization are the keys to solving these challenges. So sales analytics and CRM tools really provide valuable data and insights, but coaching your team, training them, leadership development, those are going to play a crucial role in enhancing skills, fostering engagement, and really building strong leadership. When you can combine both systems and leadership, you really create a holistic approach where you can build a high-performing sales environment. If this is hitting home for you, you're not alone. If you haven't yet, I've put together a free comprehensive sales team foundation assessment quiz that's designed to help you self-diagnose your team's exact pain points. When you take the quiz, you'll immediately get a comprehensive guide titled The A-Team Advantage, Your Blueprint for Attracting, Hiring, and Retaining Top Sales Talent. Now, you might be here on this video because you've already done that, and it led you here to learn a little bit more about the circle of momentum. Either way, once you have the guide, once you've completed the assessment, you can schedule a complimentary Leading with Confidence breakthrough session with me. We'll dive into your specific results and give you a clear roadmap to get your sales momentum back. This isn't jumping on a call to get a pitch. It's about helping you identify 2 or 3 key areas that you can change right now to get a different result. Click the link in the description, take the quiz, get your guide. Let's get you back in the game and get that momentum moving again, because at the end of the day, sales is life.